Hi, hello everybody, welcome back. Today I am doing my best books of 2018 video. I read 53 books in 2018. I am so excited to show you. I had a very good reading year. I have more best books than worst books, so in my opinion, I'm doing good. Now, just another quick disclaimer before I get started, and that is these are all the books that I read in 2018, so not all of them have come out on 2018. So me calling them the best books of 2018 doesn't necessarily mean they're the best books that came out in 2018. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. The first book that I want to talk about is The Diviners by Libba Bray. This book has been out for so long. I think this book came out in 2015. This book came out in 2012. I loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It is the first book in Libba Bray's paranormal YA occult series that is set in the 1920s. It has horror, thriller, mystery vibes. There is a full cast of characters. Those characters are so diverse. The writing is atmospheric and beautiful. I was completely engulfed in this. I listened to it on audiobook, was completely engulfed. If y'all haven't read this yet, you guys are sleeping on this series because it's so freaking good. So this book follows a bunch of different main characters that all have some sort of gift or power. So, for example, the main character that we meet first, that we see mostly from, is Evie, and she has this supernatural gift. When she touches people's personal items, she can see things that have happened to them. So she kind of gets involved in this murder investigation, and there's a madman running through the city, and she meets up with some other diviners that they don't know about each other's gifts, and so good. It's so good. It's so good. I love it so much. The side cast of characters is just as fabulous as Evie. She can be frustrating at times. She's flawed. She's a flawed main character. She's not always likable, but I really look for that in main characters. I don't always like characters that are always likable, if that makes sense. So I just feel like this is an all-around fantastic read. Honestly, the writing is good, the plot is good, it's fun and fast-paced, and it's not super bogged down by the writing, so it's just fabulous. I loved it so much. The next book that I want to talk about, that is another series y'all are sleeping on because I don't see people talk about it even nearly as much as The Diviners. The Girl of Fire and Thorns by Rae Carson. This is the first book in a YA fantasy that I think is fabulous. This series, this main character is one of my favorite main characters in YA fantasy of all time. She goes through immense character development. Like by the end, but it all makes sense with the situation, and it's not like she's a different person. It's definitely the character development is just driving this book. Definitely would recommend this series. It's diverse, it's fun, it's got political intrigue. So this follows our main character, who is considered the chosen one by the gods, by God, who put a ruby in her navel. So that's how everyone knows she's a chosen one. But a lot of kingdoms use this chosen one as a bargaining chip for political alliances, so this has been kept a secret. And it's on her 17th birthday. She is married off to another kingdom to form an alliance. And someone finds out about her, Godstone is what it's called, and things get crazy. It gets so good. It's so good, guys. It's so good. I love it. The next set of books I want to talk about, because even though it was a reread for me, this series still remains one of my all-time favorite contemporaries, and that is the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants series by Anne Brashears, consisting of Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, Second Summer of the Sisterhood, Girls in Pants, and Forever in Blue. These books follow our four main characters who have been best friends since birth because their mothers met at a Pilates class, a baby pregnancy workout class, and they all had similar due dates. So they formed a friendship, the mothers formed a friendship, and the girls formed a friendship. The first book follows their first summer apart from each other. They're about to be juniors in high school, and they're all going in different directions for the summer. They're not going to be together in one place. So they find a pair of magic pants that fits all of them, which is pretty crazy because they all have very different body types, and they decide to share these pants and their experiences with each other throughout the summer to help keep them together. It has a little bit of everything as far as a contemporary series goes. It has friendship elements, it has family relationships, it has romantic relationships, it has humor and depth, it has small teenage problems and big teenage problems. There is so much in this series. I would highly recommend. My reread was just as good as the first time I read these books. I want to mention really quickly, I don't own these books, but one of my favorite graphic novel reads of 2018 was the March series by John Lewis. This is a chronicle of John Lewis's life, specifically in the civil rights era. It just opened my eyes to a lot of things that happened not so long ago. And if you guys don't understand the civil rights movement or haven't really learned much about it, I would recommend dipping into these books because they're nonfiction, they're graphic novels, they're very quick. They are heavy though. It is a heavy subject matter, so just be warned. One of my next favorite reads of 2018 was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This is a YA paranormal series that I have been sleeping on. I don't know why it took me this long to read it. It follows Blue, who lives with a family of psychics, and she ends up running into a group of Raven boys that are private school boys that are searching for Glendower, who is this mysterious Welsh king that died somewhere in the United States. Supposedly, if you find his body, he'll grant you a wish. This book is just so eerie and atmospheric, and the antagonist is really creepy, and I can't wait to continue on with this series. It was definitely a favorite read for me in 2018. Woo! We're getting there. I had a lot of good favorite books this year. The Themis Files by Sylvain Nouvelle is an adult sci-fi that is told in interviews that follows a cast of characters that are trying to put together this alien object that was mysteriously found on Earth. And it's really good. It's really fun. I would recommend listening to the audiobook because it is a full cast of characters in the audiobook as well. So it really feels like you're listening to a play or almost a movie. And this is fun. It's not anything sci-fi that's like groundbreaking, but it's really interesting in my opinion, and it's fast-paced and it's twisty-turny in all the right places. I would also recommend this if you like sci-fi but you haven't really dabbled into adult sci-fi. This is, I think, a good start. One of my favorite poetry collections was Sea of Strangers by Lang Leave. When I first discovered this modern poetry movement, I flew through so many poetry books, and then I kind of hit a stalemate with them. I wasn't really finding ones that I enjoyed as much anymore. I wasn't rating them 4 or 5 stars like when I first got into the genre, and then I discovered Lang Leave. This woman knows the words that sing to my heart. She has a new book coming out in 2019. I'm excited. But if you are feeling the same way as me, where you have tried a lot of new modern poetry and the very popular modern poetry, pick up Lang Leave and see what you think. She is a fabulous writer. Again, she just speaks to my heart, and I adored this book. I cannot get through this video without mentioning Sabaa Tahir. I finally read A Torch Against the Night this year. Hot damn, this book. It hurt me in the best way possible. And finally, I'm actually going to mention one of the first books that I read in 2018 that has stuck with me, and that is Meet Cute, which is a YA anthology. A lot of these books I'm holding up are white, so I apologize for this weird white balance shifting that's happening with my filming, but can't help it because I'm low tech and I film on my phone. This was a super fun, really diverse, wonderful collection of short stories that just really spoke to my heart. And with anthologies, I rate every single story and then I average them together. So this one wasn't quite 5 stars. I think it ended up being 4.75. But dang, this book stuck with me the whole year. If you're looking for something fun and cute and diverse and just happy, this is the book for you. So that is it for my favorite / the best books of 2018. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye!